welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. Today, I've got something a little different. If you're new around here, I typically drink coffee whenever I sit down to do this. Either hot or cold coffee is my preference, but we have a little bit of illness going around the family. Two of my kids are down with a cold, so I've just been trying to up the, usual soup, bone broth, and orange juice. I was like, you know what? I feel like having a glass of orange juice today. It's been a long day taking care of the sick ones, and so yeah, instead of coffee, I'm doing orange juice. But anyway, you guys didn't come here to hear all of that. Today we're going to be doing another Will I Buy It new makeup releases, and I'm going to be sipping on my orange juice while we do that. But if you're new around here, I always like to credit these ladies for starting this series on YouTube, and I always do it once a week over on my channel as well. And today is time for another one. There's a good amount of products I have saved over the course of the week, so why don't we go ahead and chit-chat a little bit about some new makeup releases. Most of them are indie makeup releases, but per usual we have a little bit of mainstream sprinkled in there, so let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, first up I wanted to talk about Too Faced Cosmetics. They are sneak peeking this new brow product. Is called Brow Wig. Interesting name, but it's basically a brow gel for your hair from what I have read. It's a fluffy brow gel and it's tinted. This tends to be my preference when it comes to brows, so I was excited to see this. It's definitely something I would be interested in. But when it comes to the price of Too Faced Cosmetics, that's where I tend to draw the line. I just feel like, especially for brows, I don't know, brows aren't something I'm super picky about. I just need something that kind of keeps them in place and tints them. I think right now I'm using one from Essence that's really great that I would recommend that was like $3 or $4. I can't go wrong there, and like I said, I'm just not picky enough to be able to tell a difference when it comes to brow gels. So for me, this is a definite easy pass for me, but it is something new from Too Faced and something a little different. I don't know, I wasn't expecting brow products from them. e.l.f. is once again expanding their putty, I almost said puffy, their putty line, and they're doing putty bronzers. I'm not into the whole cream products. I think it's different that they have it in a little, jar and whatnot. I feel like it usually comes in a stick or whatnot, but it's just not something that I'm interested in. I have my Milk Makeup bronzing stick, and that's great, and that works great for the rare occasion that I do want to use a cream bronzer. So for me, this is an easy pass, but it's something new from them. They started with their putty primer, and then they did blushes. Now they did bronzers. What are they going to do next? They might even already have highlighters, but if they don't, I guess that's next. But anyway, all around, this is an easy pass for me. This is from, I got tagged in it, Sugar Drizzle Polish. This looks really pretty. They're multi-chrome liners. The only reason I hesitate to actually try one out is because I don't know how obvious and how evident you'll be able to see this shift when you use it in such a small area. Because typically for me, when I do a gel liner, I use it in my waterline. I'm really not the person to use them on the top of my eyes. I just can't get a really sharp line, so I tend to just use liquid liner. So when I think about that, I just don't know if it translates well to my waterline. I don't know if I'd want to put that in my waterline. I don't know if that's eye safe to get right next to your eyeball, but I do like the idea of it. And if I was someone who would wing out my liner or do something graphic with a gel liner pen, I'd be more interested. But I don't know, I think multi-chromes are beautiful. I love multi-chromes on Instagram and YouTube and all that, but for me, whenever I wear multi-chromes in real life, maybe I just haven't found the right one, but they're just pretty, they're okay. I'm just not as crazy about them as I feel like a lot of people are. And then like I said, when it comes to liners, they're very pretty to look at, but I'm just a little skeptical of how much you'd be able to see because it's just such a small line. I don't know. Anyway, I think they're pretty. I'm not going to be getting them, but they intrigue me. It's kind of like this tug of war with, I think they're really pretty, but I just don't know if I would enjoy them. Notoriously Morbid is coming out with a new palette. This is the Absinthe and Lace palette. This is a really pretty color story. I can't tell if some of these shades are shimmer or not. The pink, I think, is a matte. It's hard to tell. The green looks matte. That warm brown looks matte. It looks like they have some duochromes in there. Here they are swatched out. Very pretty shimmer metallic shadows in here. Okay, yeah, the pink is a matte. So there's 3 mattes. Yeah, I think there's just 3 mattes, which is not my preference personally. I prefer a little bit more mattes and there to be some depth with the mattes, but the shimmers are absolutely beautiful. I think they're really, really pretty. Look at some of the, this one right here. Wow. Very, very pretty. They're all super pretty, and if I was someone who was more into the shimmer and sparkle and metallic shades over the mattes, I'd probably be more into it, but because I am someone who likes my mattes, having only 3 is a little bit of, a disinterest for me, so for those reasons, I'm going to be passing, but I do think the color story is pretty. BH Cosmetics is expanding their travel series. Let's see, they're going to Paris, Puerto Rico, and Tulum, I think is what it's called. So it's these 3. 2 of them are eyeshadow palettes and 1 of them is a face palette. So this is Paris, which is a pretty kind of cool tone blue purpley type of palette. I think it's pretty. Personally, not for me, so it's an easy pass. I'm just not into those colors. Puerto Rico though, That is a little bit more, ooh, that's pretty. It's a pretty color story. It's definitely a color story I like. Gives me vibes of another palette I've seen from another brand. I can't think of it. I forget. But anyway, very pretty. I like that it has a lot of yellows and oranges and reds mixed with that hot pink there. I think that's a pretty mix, and then of course the neutrals. But it's nice. I'm going to be passing on it just because as a whole, I don't know. I'm not like in love with it, and I'm trying to be really picky when it comes to eyeshadow palettes just because I have so many that I've been getting recently and that I still have to try. So I'm trying to be really picky. So the fact that I'm not, you know, I'm not like swept off my feet, but I do think it's really pretty. It gives me, what is it? Give Me Glow Extra Spicy palette. It gives me those vibes, but with a little bit more extra color, extra dimension with more orange and, you know, the yellow and then the hot pink and stuff. So more variety. So I like that about it. If you missed out on the Give Me Glow palette, this could be a good option. And then anyway, the Tulum palette, it's an easy pass for me. I'm not into face palettes that often, but I do think it's pretty. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about that. You guys know I typically have most to say about like eyeshadow palettes. So for me, I kind of focus on the eyeshadow palettes, and both of them are going to be a pass. Okay, Alien Cosmetics is launching the Not Normal palette. Cover is okay. I don't know. I'm not in love with it, but I don't dislike it as much as I feel like I typically dislike their color store or their palette packaging. But the inside is really pretty. Look at this shimmer up there, topaz, even Gemini, and then these mattes here, emerald, and even a purple up there. That's kind of fun. I like that they also give you brown though up there, and not just the dark purple to deepen it out. This color shade is really pretty. Kind of gives me like almost a subculture remix vibe when I look at this. I think it's really pretty. Definitely very tempted. I'm a little torn though with the cover, just because I'm not crazy about it personally, my personal preferences. I do like that there's more mattes than shimmers in this palette, and the shimmers do look really pretty, but I don't know. I'm really torn. I think the color story is really pretty, so I keep going back and forth. Let me know your thoughts. Are you planning to pick this up? I don't think I'm going to get it. I don't know. I hear such good things about Alien Cosmetics that I'm super curious, so that's the biggest reason, besides it being a color story that I love, that's the biggest reason why I'm hesitating saying no. So let me know your thoughts down below and help me decide. Ivette Beauty has been launching so much this month. This is their newest launch. This is a rainbow eyeshadow palette, and it's a rainbow eyeshadow palette that's full of matte colors. If you've never heard of Ivette Beauty or you never heard about their eyeshadow palettes, I have their autumn palette that they launched in the autumn of last year, and it is a full matte palette. I cannot speak highly enough about this palette. It was a great formula to work with. The colors and pigmentation of these very bright shades stayed really true to color as well. Like on the eyes, they were just as intense and beautiful. So I know she does well when she picks out, you know, her palettes and creates her palettes to make sure that they work well, that they're pigmented, that they're bright, and that they'll look on the eyes just as beautiful as they look in the pan. So looking at this palette, I know it's going to be beautiful, and I'm so tempted, but I think I'm going to pass just because it is a rainbow palette. I feel like I have a lot of them. I have so many palettes to use. So while I think this is a really nice palette, especially, you know, to launch in the summer with, you know, such bold colors. And like I said, you know, those colors like this green and yellow are going to be so bright and beautiful on the eyes. And then that red looks really pretty. I feel like it'll just pop as such a true red, such a true like summer red. That's the biggest reason I'm tempted, but it is a pretty color story, and I'm really attracted to the all matte aspect of it. This is a new brand to me, YSI Beauty. Someone tagged me in it, and I like this palette. Again, so many mattes compared to the shimmers. I'm kind of intrigued, and it's a really neat mix of very bright, bold shades, but also a lot of deep shades to give you depth, which I really like. I like this row here in the middle, kind of in the middle. There's 4 rows, you know what I mean. This neutral row with the yellow to brown, I think that's really pretty for a very neutral look, but then you have all these other colors that can really mix it up, and I like that, like I said, there's just a lot of depth in this palette to be had. I don't know if they swatched this palette at all. I don't think so. At least not that I've seen. So I'm very intrigued. I think this is a really pretty color story. It kind of reminds me of Ivette Beauty's palette that we just saw, except like a more deeper, like a richer version of it, and then with shimmers, of course. And then, like I said, I like that aspect of the neutrals kind of mixed in there with the more brighter colors to kind of get a all-in-one. You can go super neutral or you can go super colorful. I do feel like some of the blues seem a little repetitive, and like there's not a huge difference between the yellows there, but that could just be picture-wise. I feel like you'd have to see it in a couple different lightings and settings to really get a good grasp on it, but that's really the only big critique I have, is that Island and Vacation kind of look identical, but otherwise it's really pretty. I'm really tempted. I don't think I'm going to pick it up though, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you've heard of this brand before, if you're interested at all, let me know. Oden's Eye just dropped a new collection. I'm only going to touch on it very briefly because my last video was using this collection and I have it here literally sitting right on my desk because I haven't been able to clean it up since I did that video. So I'll leave it linked up here and also down in the description box if you want to check it out. You can check that out if you would like to hear my thoughts on it, but I did get to play with it a little bit. There's a lot in this collection. There are eyeshadow palettes, a brush set, a brush cleaner, and a makeup bag, and a bow. All sorts of stuff. Like I said, check it out if you want to hear my thoughts, but obviously, yes, it was sent in PR, so I did get it, and I did go ahead and already do a video with it. It wouldn't be a Will I Buy talking about new releases if we didn't talk about Colourpop. Colourpop has launched a new collection. Nobody's surprised, but this time it is with Hello Kitty, which they did, I will give them, they did a really cute job. I think this is a really cute collection with the monochromatic little quads here, the yellow, the pink, the blue, and the more peachy, I guess you would call that. I think it's really pretty. They got blush in there, they got, I think, what is this, a glitter thing? I think it's a glitter topper type of thing, and then they have lipsticks. It's a cute collection. I think they did a great job with the decorations as well, and like the palette design. I think that's really cute. I don't think I'll pick it up though because I can't remember if they have any glitters in them, but just because I feel like I have this many times over, if I were to pick up anything, surprisingly, I feel like it'd be that blue one, just because the yellow one also attracts me and also catches my eye, but it's a very light palette. Like I feel like those colors are gonna look very light, especially knowing it's Colourpop. Colourpop, like saturation with their shadows tends to not be that intense, so if it looks that light in the pan, it's probably going to look a lot lighter, blended out, and maybe it has to do also with me having yellow undertones, but I feel like yellows, when it comes to Colourpop, kind of blends out almost to nothing on me, so that's kind of why I'm not super into the yellow, but the blue I think is pretty. I think that's a pretty color story, and then at least you have a lighter color and a darker color to get some depth, and you got two different types of shimmers. That's pretty, but I think as a whole, I'm just going to be passing on this collection. It's cute though. So Buxom launched a new palette, and they launched it in collaboration with Ash K Home, and they did a great job. Like, this is a fantastic collaboration, giving like Buxom neutrals, but with a pop of color. Like, I saw this and I would never have pegged this for Buxom. Like, that's how pretty I think it is. It's heavy on the neutrals, yes, but it also, like I said, has those pops of color with the purple, the more peach watermelon, and then the blue, and it has a nice dark black in there. I don't know, I think this is a really nice step up for Buxom. I hope it does well so that Buxom kind of gets a little bit more adventurous, because I feel like they can tend to be a brand that just does the same thing over and over. So I think this is a nice mix. I would have liked to see a little bit more like intensity with the matte side of it, because I feel like, you know, Iconic, Unfiltered, those are kind of like both just super light, and I don't know, what else would you have needed? I don't know, you got a black and a brown, but maybe it's something a little bit different, because I feel like for my skin tone at least, I could take one or leave one type of thing, but maybe that's just me, and you know, if you're lighter or deeper, you can, you know, see more use with those two shades being in there. But I think Teddy and Rich, and then of course you have the Smokin' out there, and then Living in Stacks. I'd have to see them swatch, but the two shimmers kind of look identical when it comes to the neutrals. But the other shimmers I like. I think they're pretty. Anyway, as a whole, I feel bad sometimes when I nitpick palettes, because like anyone can nitpick a palette, but they obviously wanted to have these colors in there, so I think overall it's a pretty collection. I think she did a great job, but for me it's going to be an easy pass, but excited to see this coming from Buxom. Next up we have Unicorn Cosmetics. I've been so intrigued about this brand ever since it launched. One of these days I'm going to try it, and this is a palette that looks really pretty. This is their Angel collection. It has an 8-piece set. This palette is really pretty. I'm not a fan of their whole split pan thing going on here, especially because it's like shimmers next to mattes. I don't know, I feel like that'll be a lot hard to get your brush into it. But when we're talking about this palette, like just that bottom row really intrigues me. I like that they have so many mattes and then some shimmers. I don't think there's any glitters in here. It doesn't appear to be, but it's a fun color story. I'll give them that. I think it's a fun color story. I really like the look of it. They have brush sets as well. I've never tried their brushes or anything like that, so I can't really say anything about it, but the carrying case or whatever it comes in, that's really pretty. Let's see what else. They have a hand mirror that's also very pretty. Oh, and here's a better close-up look at a better picture, just quality-wise, of the shadows. Yeah, I think that's really pretty. Overall, I think it's a really pretty collection. I'm very tempted. This green especially. Like, look at that. Sweet Poo, I think it's called. I think it's called Sweet Poo. Anyway, that's a really pretty shade right there. And then there's another green poking out, Thorn, that I think is very pretty as well. So overall, I think the color story of this is very pretty. I like the packaging as well. I think it's just very light and airy and beautiful. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I think it's a neat mix of colors. Like, I'd be very curious to see how the bottom half mixes and meshes with the top half, doing a look with both of the, like all of that combined, because I feel like the bottom two is like my grunge, my vibe when it comes to colors, and then the top two rows are very light and airy, and it's kind of like, wait a minute, how would I mix you two together? That's kind of what comes into my head. So let me know what you guys think. If you'd be at all interested in seeing their Angel eyeshadow palette on my channel. Let's see, it's £29.99, 42 USD. You can get the face brush set. Here are all the prices you guys can see, and feel free to pause if you need to see them. But yeah, very interested. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can get a bundled deal for just under $200. So the palette is $42. That'd be the only thing I'd be super interested in. Oh, it looks like they also have lashes. I didn't see that over there, but they apparently also have lashes. As I already said, I'm just interested in the palette, but let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys think about the color story as a whole. That's what I'm really curious about. I'm very intrigued. It's a very neat mix of airy and grunge in my mind. Okay, next up is Klarity Kosmetics. They're releasing some new products. They have, I believe it's a, let's see, plush and mauve wedding palettes, and then they also have a cobra palette. This plush palette appears to only have one matte, and then all the rest are shimmers. Wedding is 3 mattes and 2 shimmers, and then the cobra palette, I think they also launched like concealer or foundation, something like that, because I remember seeing something earlier. I must not have saved it, but Klarity Kosmetics is launching a lot. I'm a little torn. If you didn't know, I've only tried one palette from them, and that was their pastel palette. And when I had tried their pastel palette, I wasn't a fan of it. It just did not work at all. It was so patchy for me. But I kind of chalked that up to just being pastels, because I feel like pastels is a very hard, formula to really, nail and whatnot. So I was curious to try more from Klarity Kosmetics, and this is a deeper version, so definitely right up my alley. However, I had something of a really weird interaction with them. I don't know. I'm very torn about this brand because I didn't have the best personal interaction with them behind the scenes, like DM wise. And then after I did my Palapalooza countdown review where I reviewed the pastel palette, they blocked me, and I'm pretty sure I can show you guys. Yeah, it says the user is not found. So that was very weird when I found that out after I posted my video. And I actually found it out that night because I went to post another Instagram tutorial using their palette, and I was going to tag them. And that's when I found out that it was blocked because I couldn't find them on Instagram anymore, and I'm still blocked. So I don't think they didn't like my review, obviously. And I feel so bad because I never want a brand to think I'm attacking them, but I tried to just, especially in my, review videos, I try to stay very true to the palette and reviewing the quality of the palette that I see. And I mean, maybe I came off too harsh in my video reviewing the palette in my Palapalooza, the last one I did, and it's so crazy because the night before I had done another tutorial and tagged them and had no issues. I found them. So I know that they blocked me after seeing my review. So that's kind of disappointing to know that a brand blocked me because I had an unfavorable review. Maybe there was another reason. Maybe it was a mistake. I don't know. I don't want to, it could have, I suppose, easily been an oopsie of someone accidentally blocking you on Instagram. I don't know. But basically, right now, I'm blocked. I can't see the brand. So it's kind of like, well, there's so many indie brands out there that, there's so many palettes that I'm going, want to try and whatnot back here waiting to be tried. This brand obviously doesn't want my business, so I should just keep moving on. There's other brands you can support. Let's just keep on moving, and just, not that I'm canceling the brand. I'm not going to sit here and say we should all cancel them because they blocked me. That's not the worst thing to happen. But for me personally, when I go to shop with them, it's a little hard to go and shop with them because usually I'm a big shopper on my phone, so I'll go to someone's Instagram page, click their website, and then that's how I tend to shop for indie brands. So with them blocking me on Instagram, it's kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like they don't want my business, so that's the biggest reason why I'm like, okay, I'll just keep on moving. It's fine. So I don't plan to pick this up as much as I think it's a beautiful palette, and I'd love to try it, and I'd love to try their deeper colors. But this whole thing with them blocking me after, my review, I'm just kind of like, okay, gonna keep on moving. So like I said, not canceling the brand, not saying anyone to cancel, but for me and my personal experience, because I am currently blocked and I can't see anything from the brand, I can't even double check if this is launched or anything yet, I'm just going to go ahead and pass and keep on moving. Like I said, I feel like that was a clear message from the brand to me that they don't want my business, so I'm not going to sit there and try to force my business on them and, try to get their palette to do a video on, and God forbid I don't like that, then that would be even worse. So I'm just going to keep on trucking and, move on to other brands, move on and just keep on going with the palettes that I have from other indie brands. But anyway, just want to update you guys on that because I did get some tags when this started coming up. So yeah, I'm not going to be picking it up. Alright, so those are the new makeup releases that have come out in the last week that I wanted to chit chat with you guys about. I'm sorry if the end got a little weird talking about Klarity Kosmetics. Like I said, I don't mean this to, start any drama or anything, but just mainly to inform you guys why I won't be trying it. It looks very pretty, and when they do launch it, I do hope, they do well. I do hope it's a great formula. I really do hope everyone loves it, and I'm just sorry that the brand took my review of their previous palette, to mean that, I was bashing the brand. That could definitely have been the case, and if that is the case, I am sorry, because I did not mean, like I said, I didn't mean to come across that harsh. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there for now. Like I said, I feel so awkward talking about this. I don't I don't know. I don't know what to say and I just keep talking in circles. So I'm just gonna end it there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts on all these products. I was pretty pleased that I'm not really picking, like planning to pick anything up. So that's a good news for my wallet, good news for the pile of palettes in the back that are still waiting to get used, and good news for all the new palettes that I have on my desk that I need to get going with and give them some love-ins and give them some, you know, attention so I can give you guys my review, because I think I'm gonna have another ranking the last 10 palettes that I tried video up very soon, probably the beginning of next month, but it's gonna be coming up fairly soon just because I've been trying so many palettes recently. But anyway, with all that said, thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning into my live stream, as you guys always do. You're always so amazing to come and chat with me during these live streams. I really do enjoy it. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me. I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye guys.